Hi, and welcome to Pearl Magazine. Tonight, we take you on a tour of leading-edge consumer electronics that promise to make our lives more connected, convenient, and maybe even tastier. But first, the Hong Kong government has started recognizing overseas same-sex unions by issuing dependent visas. The move is improving the lives of these couples in Hong Kong and is considered a big step forward for equal rights. But many remain opposed, saying the changes infringe on the rights of others. Zella Chin brings us this report.
A sea of pink at a festival in West Kowloon. These people are celebrating diversity and support for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community in Hong Kong. Manning one of the sponsor booths is Grant McIntyre, a Canadian. His partner, Daniel, helped with the logistics and handed out water guns.
We tried to organize, the food and drink for the staff that came by, as well as, a handout mainly geared towards kids, but we enjoyed it as well.
Grant and Daniel got married in Canada more than 15 years ago and moved to Hong Kong for Grant's job in July 2017. He's the head of legal at a bank. Grant has a work visa. Daniel, an Australian, arrived on a tourist visa.
But he had to leave every 3 months to get it renewed. There was always the chance that they would say at the border, "You've come in too many times," and that he would be forced to leave for a long period of time. We always had that thing looming over us.
And his husband couldn't get a Hong Kong ID card.
And that's not a very pleasant situation to be in. He could never open a bank account. He couldn't get a visa to go travel because he couldn't get visas from embassies here. He had to send it back to his parents in Australia. Even little things like being able to call if there's a problem with utilities.
Life changed over the summer when same-sex couples won the right for spousal visas in the Court of Final Appeal. It ended an immigration policy that restricted the visas to heterosexual married couples. And recently, Grant's partner received his spousal visa, and it changed their lives immediately. His husband, who is a nurse, volunteers at a charity that helps people with HIV. Grant's happy home life has changed his outlook on Hong Kong.
At the beginning, Hong Kong was always going to be a temporary location. We'd have to leave Hong Kong at some point so that he could continue on with his career. Now that he can get a visa here, this isn't a concern. So we think of Hong Kong as a much more long-term place for us and makes it feel much more like home.
He says the city will attract more talent with the same-sex spousal visa.
Nowadays, it's a global market for talent. And being able to attract LGBT staff who want to be able to bring their partners with them, it's a huge advantage for the city.
In Jim Sa Choi, this couple thinks the same-sex spousal visa is a step in the right direction. John is serenading his husband. Timothy was born and raised in Hong Kong. John is from Venezuela. They met online and instantly connected. Timothy likes to cook, and John likes to eat.
I'm teaching myself more like Venezuelan food. It's like a beautiful soul comfort food that I think makes sense why Venezuelans are also so cool.
Yeah, perfect.
After dating for 5 years, the couple finally got married in Las Vegas in January this year. John works in marketing and sales in Hong Kong and has a work visa. Now he's getting ready to apply for the dependent spousal visa.
I'm a passionate musician and I play with this band, and I would love to be able to explore that avenue a lot more. And being able to not have to be attached to just one working visa would be special for that.
John hopes to get an SAR passport one day. Under Hong Kong law, marriage is between one man and one woman. So for Tim and John, the dependent visa represents a legal Hong Kong document proving their marriage.
We're fully married in the eyes of like the United States, but in Hong Kong, they don't recognize that marriage certificate that we have. So if we have a same-sex dependent visa, that's one form of recognition for our marriage. So if anything, God forbid, it happens in the future, same-sex dependent visa will kind of prove our relationship in the eyes of the government.
With the dependent visa saga over, homosexual couples can claim a small legal victory, but their battle for equal rights is far from over. It's a Saturday evening and this couple is playing board games at home. Angus was born and raised in Hong Kong. Scott is from the UK and has lived in Hong Kong for 16 years. He's a pilot. Angus is a civil servant and works at the immigration department. The civil service allows the officers' spouses to obtain medical and dental benefits. The two got married in 2014 in New Zealand. Angus tried to update his marital status with his employer and get benefits for his spouse, but was denied.
If he's sick and he lost his job, he wouldn't have any medical to be covered. So it all depends on me. And if he's not being able to, get any spouse benefit, then we will have to bear the whole cost.
It's also to be the fact that I'm the next of kin. If something were to happen with Angus, at least I'll be able to be the contact point from his company to be able to help, or to be able to go into the hospital with visitation rights.
In 2015, Angus filed a lawsuit against the government for spousal benefits and to allow the couple to file a joint tax return.
I'm like a second-class employee. I'm a civil servant. I devote my life, I build my career to serve the citizens. I work as hard as my other colleagues, but when at work, when I'm looking around, everyone can provide their family, they can protect their family, but this is something that I couldn't do.
The case has reached the Court of Final Appeal, and Angus is waiting for a hearing. Human rights lawyer Jonathan Mann thinks that Angus has a fair chance of winning against the government.
The issue that will be recognized by the court is about the treatment, the different treatment that the government applied to same-sex couples and heterosexual couples. We do not find any justification to see why they shouldn't receive the same treatment. Otherwise, it would be a discrimination over the same-sex marriage.
Roger Wong of the Family School Soto Concern Group opposes gay rights. He says the government giving benefits to same-sex couples indirectly infringes on the rights of Hong Kongers who don't agree with same-sex relationships.
You are using the people's resources to support this kind of relationship, and that will have the implication that you are forcing indirectly all the people to support that, which is not something right to do. And secondly, is the influence on the education system, because, the government is supporting that. So the textbook for the kids should be modified, so every family can have two mothers or two fathers, which I think majority of the parents won't agree.
But Jonathan says the rights of minorities are protected by the Basic Law, Hong Kong's mini-constitution.
He said in the Basic Law, saying that all Hong Kong residents shall be equal before the law. The government should not have different treatment for different people just because of their sexual orientation. Otherwise, it would be only constitute a discrimination.
A new LGBT case has been filed against the government. A woman is suing the authorities for denying her the right to enter into a civil union with her female partner. The anti-gay side is worried that allowing same-sex civil unions is a stepping stone towards same-sex marriage.
They are asking for the general endorsement about the benefit for the same-sex couples, which we call it civil union. In fact, many countries in the Western world firstly get the civil union legislation done first, but many of them finally would have the same-sex marriage formally legalized. I think is their tactics.
The human rights lawyer says it would be a very long road to legalize a same-sex marriage.
What the judge can do is to protect the rights of the individual when they are being violated. But for whether the society should accept same-sex marriage or civil union, I think it should be left to the public to deal with it and leave it to the legislative process, okay, which is the right thing to do.
It remains to be seen whether same-sex couples will get equal rights in this city. But support among Hong Kongers is growing.